Hi, so good afternoon. Hi, this is a Ken O from Canton Chambers Lawyers. Uh, I think this is like a almost end of 2019. Today is 1st of November 2019. I hope everybody will prepare the end of year good for only for 2 months left, and then for 2 months you can do well and then make a good year of 2019. Today we are going to have like a Facebook Live regarding for like a work to residence visa in a chef case. We have already done several times for like work to residence visa program here, but as you know, for this program will be we'll remove the policy around 2021. Then no more chance to apply for work to residence visa program here in New Zealand as a chef. So this Facebook Live is more focused on for New Zealand chef experience, New Zealand chef working here in New Zealand, or like a chef in overseas, right? And then later maybe other category also we are going to do, but today we are going to more focus on for a chef as a work to residence visa. Okay, I mentioned several times for like work to residence visa, the concept of the work to residence visa here in New Zealand. And work to residence visa means that if you work here in New Zealand for 2 years, and then you are almost qualified and then or entitled of your residence visa here in New Zealand without English requirement. If you meet only for a certain requirement, you can apply for the residence visa, and then you will be like some qualified for your residence visa, right? So each in a work to residence visa, there are basic two like big categories. One is for talent visa. One is for long-term skills shortage, like list. Hello, hi. So, okay, some chef joining to us, and okay, it's a very welcome. And then sorry for like in the work to residence visa, you don't need an IELTS requirement. This is a no English requirement. This is a very important, right? And then because Arvind, like hi Arvind, asked for questions, right? And okay, I'll keep going for work to residence visa other category. That means for in a New Zealand government, like New Zealand Immigration Department, they make several like a list of their. So I'll put my like mic here so to more clear. Uh, does it look nice? Okay, I'll put them there. Okay, yeah. So New Zealand government every year they make a list update for long-term skill shortage list. So any jobs in the list, then this is for work to residence visa category as like a long-term skill shortage category list, and then this is qualified for work to residence visa the category. Each job in the long-term skill shortage, there are requirements. If you meet the requirement, and then so you can apply for work to residence visa category. Once your work to residence visa category is granted, and then so your visa period is for 30 months. That means 2 years and 6 months. If you work for 2 years, and then you can apply for the residence visa category. Some people like ask me, okay, while you work for the employer, can you change your employer or not? Technically, legally, you can change the employer, then still your work to residence visa is going on, like still like remains, still going on. And then after 2 years, you can apply for the residence visa as well, right? However, if possible, like just stay for that employer, then this is more simpler, and then this is not much for complicated. if you move to another employer, then for when you apply for residence visa, then you have to explain more, right? And so that means I do recommend if you got a job, and then maybe you can stay there until you got the residence visa, right? In any way, so there are so many lists there, and then long-term skill shortage. If you find that your job is in the list, and then you can see that's okay, what is the requirement for qualified for work to residence visa, then so there are details there. Then if you meet the requirement, then you can apply for work to residence visa category. So we are helping many of the chefs, right? So then I can tell you for explanation of the work to residence visa as a chef more, okay? So work to residence visa advantage is for when you apply work to residence visa, and also when you apply for the residence visa after working 2 years, there is no any English requirement. Many chefs working in this hospitality industry, they are struggling to meet the English requirement in New Zealand. For example, like if you apply for skilled migrant category, and then English requirement is for 6.5 of the IELTS, and then PT is for 58 points. So this is not easy to get for 6.5 IELTS. I'm not sure if I sit the exam, I can get 6.5 or not. So I never sit the IELTS yet, so I don't know for what is my English level. But in anyway, for IELTS, like so many chefs, also like so many other people working here in New Zealand, they are struggling like to get the IELTS 6.5. So English requirement is the most headache and most difficult the factor to apply for the residence visa here in New Zealand under the skilled migrant category. That means for point system, then English is like a most key factor to apply for residence visa or not, right? But some people can speak English well, and then for their English level is quite good, so easy to get for 6.5. So, but many of the people who came from for non-English speaking country, they are struggling to get a good English like a result. So, however, like a chef is under the long-term skill shortage, so you can avoid of any English requirement. So for the benefit of the long-term skill shortage, and then as a chef, there is a requirement there. So 3 requirements there. So you need for more than 5 years experience of like a chef. So, and also including for more than 2 years of any like a senior chef, means that for chef de partie or higher position. Many of the chef can understand for hierarchy of the chef. So like senior position shall be for chef de partie or sous chef, and then head chef, or like some executive chef. If you got those of like experience more than 2 years, will be fine. Third thing is for you need a chef qualification. That means any study in overseas of the culinary or cookery course, then this one will be make any assessment in New Zealand. We call this as an NJQA assessment, like a New Zealand Qualification Authority. They will make an assessment of whether the overseas qualification is equivalent to New Zealand for level, right? So the level shall be for the level 4 certificate of New Zealand culinary like course. Level 4 means for minimum 1 year full time the study, it will be like some the level 4 certificate. Or in New Zealand, we got a level 4 culinary course qualification, and the level 5 diploma course as well. So if the level 4 or higher qualification will be fine. Some country they got some 1 year course or 2 years course, but the like 1 year, 2 year does not like a big factor. For major thing is for the curriculum of the study shall be for equivalent to New Zealand curriculum, and then requirement of the New Zealand curriculum requirement. So if any person who got a already degree or qualification in overseas as a culinary or cookery, then we have to do for NJQ assessment here in New Zealand. So if you got a more than 5 years of as a chef experience, including more than 2 years of senior chef experience and then chef qualification, we can apply for work to residence visa category. However, so far, based on my experience for helping or handling of so many visas for the chef, a majority of the chef doesn't have any qualification here, like in their country or other country, right? So only for they got qualified for more than 5 years experience as a chef and then more than 2 years of senior chef experience, but doesn't have any qualification. But don't worry, just like a call to us or like contact us, we can help you to get some the chef qualification, right? We got a special program of the chef qualification. If you got enough experience, if you got enough skill as a chef or enough like a knowledge as a chef, then we can help you to get your qualification for as a chef. That means you can meet the 3 requirements, and then you can easily apply for work to residence visa. However, so many people like they tell, okay, I got a chef, I got a senior chef in New Zealand. We got a legal system is for we can common law system means for even though your experience certificate itself is for say like a common chef or any like a demi chef or any chef de partie or sous chef, but in New Zealand immigration department will see more of details of what you have done as a chef, and then they will like make an assessment. Your experience is a chef, or your experience is only for cook, not a chef, right? And then in the case for you got some difficulties and problem there. So when you work there, and then when you get some experience certificate or employment certificate, then you need to get some for what you have done in your employment certificate is better. Your job description shall be including as a chef role. Many people just like say, okay, I work as a chef, but major difficulties when we apply for work to residence visa is that, okay, chef role and then cook role is different, but many people cannot recognize of the what is a chef role, what is a cook role, right? This is a key matter. And then if you got any questions, like you can contact us, we can help you on that matter as well, right? Then also the place, when the immigration officer make an assessment your past work experience, then they usually see your the working place. That means if you work where what you work, and then this is also one of the factor to make your assessment as a chef role or cook role, right? So if you work as like a la carte or fine restaurant or like in a commercial catering place, then they usually, okay, your experience can be recognized as like a chef. But if you work as a takeaway shop or like some cafeteria, in the case for they may not recognize your experience as a chef. They just recognize you as a cook, right? So the simple the factor is not applied to for assessment as whether this is a chef or cook, right? We can consider all the situation together, right? And then main thing is for cook and chef is for your place to work and also how you work there. Usually a chef role is for, okay, when the customer comes and then they see the menu and then make an order, then in a kitchen start to like cook for your meal, and then this is usually for like a chef role. However, if there is any menu on the like already there, or any the food was made in there and then you just sell it, and then this may not be like a recognized chef, right? So this is a major thing. And also nowadays, like immigration is more like a very strict requirement. They apply for very strict when they make an assessment of your past work experience. So nowadays they ask for your job details, and then now they ask for your tax payment record to the government where you work in your country. So many of the chefs, they work as like a cash basis, right? And then work for the employer. Employer pay you as a cash, you receive the cash, and then you like spend the cash for your life, and then no record of like your payment. Then you might have some difficulties in the future in New Zealand when you apply for the visa, because in New Zealand, like all the government, all the people are like a very good citizen to pay the tax well and to keep the laws and regulation here in New Zealand. So, for example, in New Zealand, even though you work as a part-time work or casual work, still most of them they pay your income tax to the government. So we got a very high like the requirement of the tax requirement. So if you got any the potential or any idea or like some intention to come to New Zealand, then maybe you have to prepare well of your tax payment record as well, right? So it was like okay before, but nowadays they ask for like a genuine, like a good citizen from your country. Then like that people will be accepted here in New Zealand as well, right? So like this is a kind of some summary of the work residence visa. So any people here in New Zealand working as a chef, and then you can contact us. We can help you. And also one of the like some problem of the ethical like restaurants. For example, maybe Asian restaurants. They are working as only for their they are not very familiar to use any hierarchy of the chef. So they always like some say of like for example Indian chef. They said okay, this an Indian chef, like some tandoori chef or like a Thai chef. So only for head chef put the position as a head chef only. Then this is some like a difficulties in reality, because even though your role is like more than a senior chef, more like some chef de partie or like a sous chef role actually in your kitchen, but your visa label is only for like a chef, okay? And then this is not sometimes cannot be recognized as a senior chef. Also, some country, they call everybody called as a cook, right? And then so chief cook or like some the cook or like that. But English term in New Zealand for cook and chef has a different title, different position, different role. Like a very similar, like a many majority of the cooking area, like some for overlap each other. However, in New Zealand, we call for chef and the cook is can be like a different skill level, right? Chef is for like a skill level 2, like a cook is a skill level 3. So cook is lower than for chef. So when you work in some country as like a cook, and then if your role is actually for chef, then when you get any work experience certificate, you can ask for your employer, okay, I want to be like a called, or like I want to be indicated in my experience certificate as like a chef, right? And then this is like a when we handling of many cases, practically reality in some cases a difficult case, right? And then and also when you work as there, like you can get some collecting some evidential documentation. You are actually working there. Like sometimes you work and take a photo in front of any your previous employees for logo or like a trading name of the business, and this is also good. Can be any extra documentation to help.
Sir, we have a question. Because regarding for those who are pastry chef and they are working in a hotel, and but the description is like a chef de party in pastry, they are entitled to apply as well.
This is not a very clear at the moment. However, when we see for like a work, I mean long-term skill shortage requirement is a very like say for more than 5 years experience as a chef, and then for more than 2 years like a senior chef, like a chef de partie or higher, and then for chef qualification there. So this concept, I cannot say yes or no. However, the work to residence visa concept means that you can cover of all area. Means for like entree, main, dessert, all three area of the food you can cover. This is the basic concept. So if you work only for like a dessert party, for like a pastry chef in on those area only, I think the immigration will have any half and half of the view of the like approve or decline. So in my personal opinion, I think if you got only for in a dessert party only as a pastry chef, and then I'm sorry to say it, my personal opinion maybe a little difficult, right? So in that case, so far I do not recommend to apply for work residence visa so far, right?
Mm.
Any other questions?
For the chef who have at the moment that they have only chef position, but in the previous job they are chef CPD, chef de party, they are eligible to apply for work resident visa.
Yeah. So this work to residence visa and then doesn't say if any current position shall be for senior chef or not, right? Then only for requirement in your past work experience period. And then if you got a more than 5 years experience as a chef, and then so which include of any senior chef experience for more than 2 years will be qualified. That means if you got more than 10 years experience, but in your country or other country, got some more than 5 years as chef, and there's like more than 2 years of CDP or sous chef, but like some work as like a cook. And then now if you come to New Zealand and then work as a chef only, still you are qualified, right? That means for if you the require three requirement this is your past work experience requirement in your like a lifetime. Yeah, like some if you got those three qualification and three requirement, then so you'll be qualified. Not a current job title is not a key matter of this one. Okay.
Does it require a minimum salary threshold for chefs, sir?
Okay, chef like work to residence visa, the minimum threshold is for okay, work to residence visa category doesn't have any for minimum income threshold. However, when you like apply for overseas people, like when you come to New Zealand, then you can come to New Zealand as a essential work visa first, then you can try to apply for the work residence visa. So As a essential work visa for 3 years visa, then minimum income threshold is a minimum $21.25 per hour, and also minimum 30 hours requirements. So that means when you overseas people come to New Zealand, maybe if your salary is under $21.25, and then your visa will be granted only for 1 year. So when you apply for work residence visa, no salary requirement. However, shall be for reasonably for market rate. That means for minimum maybe it's $20 or $21.22 shall be around that much. However, when you apply for the residence visa in 2 years later, then your salary shall be for minimum $45,000 per year. That means that this is around maybe $21.60 or 70. Like if you're over $22, this is enough the money. So nowadays, luckily for all the temporary work visa holders, minimum salary has been increased. So basic for chef, the salary has been, the average has like increased. So salary is not a big issue not a big difficult. Most of them they will be paid for over that amount, right?
For last question, sir, for those who are chef applying for work resident visa, does it have indirect or direct involvement of employer for them to apply the work resident visa?
Yeah. So when you work in New Zealand as a chef, well, then when we change your visa under the different category, your current work visa is under the temporary visa category. Then you are moving to work to residence visa category. That means we need to apply for a new visa under the work to residence visa category. In those cases, we need a new job offer and then employment contract and then employer supplementary form from your employer as well, right? And also in 2 years later, when we apply for your the residence visa, we still got some job offer and an employment contract and then for employer supplementary form as well. This is a basic requirement. That means we are still need help or assist from your employer. That is the reason why I do recommend you for like a stay there for until you get the residence visa, right? Okay. Thank you so much for today. I think maybe okay. So please don't forget for click our main page for like and then follow, and then okay. If you got any further questions, do send the email to us visa apply at cantonlaw.co.nz here, right? Visa apply at cantonlaw.co.nz. Then so if you got questions, maybe we can reply to you. Okay. Thank you so much. You have a nice day. Okay. Bye-bye.